You're on.
Do you want me to take a picture?
You're on.
I bought an extra tail. People are telling me that, yeah, just in case. Last year I had this dog. Who are you looking at? Just look in the middle. Yes, thank you. You look great.
Yikes.
Little. Those are little?
Yeah, just talking to somebody.
Graduates only.
Right there. I just want them to know we have the whole thing. Sorry, Dante. I brought peanuts. You still have 2 more. I'm done. I know. It makes me want to cry. Don't make me cry, Holly. Stop it.
Who, number one
It's on
guy?
the bottom. You look and it tells you who's what.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeffrey Legan, and I'm the principal of Mayfield High School. I'd like to welcome you to our 116th commencement ceremony. Mayfield's first graduating class was in 1899. We have celebrated commencement at the end of every year, except for 1905 and 1919, when we did not have any graduates. At this time, out of respect for our graduates and those seated near you, I would like to ask everyone who has a cell phone or any other electronic device which could disrupt today's program to take a moment, reach into your purse or pocket, and power down. Audience, please remain seated as our graduates enter. I want everyone to have a clear view of the class of 2016. At this time, I'd like to call on the salutatorian, Nicholas Gowrie, to give the welcoming remarks. Nicholas has a GPA of 4.59. Next year, he will be attending The Ohio State University, where he plans on majoring in mechanical engineering. For being second in the class, Nicholas has earned the honor of being inducted into the Mayfield High School's Academic Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Gowrie.
Welcome, families, faculty, administration, and fellow seniors. Today's proceedings symbolize a fantastic development in the lives of this body before you and I. In light of this, I extend my thanks to my extended family, my sister Alexa, and especially my parents, whom I am forever grateful to for their generosity, love, and support. Without those I have mentioned, I may not have been here today. The students in this room have gained great altitude. They have fought a marvelous fight, ascending the mountain of education over 4 years of late nights, early mornings, and difficult exams. Secondary education represents a fantastic opportunity for growth and development. As young people, sliding off the tail end of this experience, we are in the best of all positions to do something with what we have gained. The story of that time has not been written yet. The first 2 chapters are finished, but it is wise to remember that To Kill a Mockingbird didn't end when Atticus took Tom Robinson's case. NASA didn't stop when Apollo 11 touched down. The story, your story, is yet to be completed. The faculty at Mayfield have helped you up the mountain. Just as the slope of a line and the effect of gravity help you understand the physical world, the lessons of literature and language of history give you context to understand your place in it. Standing on the mountain, you have but 2 options. If you fall, someone will be there to catch you. But if you leap and you begin to fly, a new chapter will begin, and it will be profound. As the sun sets on this evening, we will no longer see each other every day in the halls. Finding new corners of this wonderful planet to occupy, we will no longer be connected in physical space. One thing, though, will never change: our status as graduates of this fine institution. A great thanks go to all in attendance today, and a warm welcome to the 116th commencement ceremony of Mayfield High School.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Keith Kelly. Dr. Kelly is in his 4th year as a superintendent of Mayfield City Schools. He's both passionate and dedicated. Whether you have seen him at a school event, read his tweets, or just sat down to have a conversation with him, you would know that he cares deeply about every child. Needless to say, our district is in great hands under his leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the superintendent of the Mayfield City School System, Dr. Keith Kelly.
Jessica and Mariana, where are you? I can't see you, but that performance was absolutely brilliant. It truly was moving. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Education, Administration, and staff, I would like to welcome you, families, staff, friends, and loved ones, to this absolutely gorgeous venue where today diplomas will be conferred on the graduating class of 2016. At this time, I would like all of those who have served or are serving in the armed forces, along with police, fire, and first responders, to stand and be recognized. You serve as courageous role models for all of us, and we thank you. Please stand, and let's give these folks a round of applause. Those who attended or graduated from Mayfield City Schools to also stand and be recognized, and I know there are many of you. Please stand. And of course, the parents, guardians, and grandparents of our graduates. Please stand, and thank you for setting us such wonderful children. The class of 2016 is truly unique. You You are perhaps unique in ways for which you have not previously thought about. Each of you, like it or not, knowing it or not, became a motivating and inspirational influence toward positive change within the landscape of public education, not only in Mayfield, but throughout the state and the nation. Yours, more than any other class before you, entered the debate on what matters most in public education today. Being it unintentionally or unintentionally, you influenced the discourse on policy issues. Policy issues such as over-testing, teacher evaluation, college and career, local and federal control, school funding, the Common Core, inclusion, and gaps in achievement were all affected by your voice and your work in and out of the classroom. During your time at Mayfield, you have withstood and participated in the educational trials and experiments that have led to greater understanding and greater common sense for the greater good. And despite living in a petri dish where pedagogical and policy cultures have both flourished and failed, you grew as a person and as a student, even if ostensibly in your understanding of how essential actions of trial and error, creativity, innovation, reflection, communication, and relevancy are to your lives and to lives of others as you strive to reach your dreams. Many governmental decision makers look toward Mayfield as a model because of our diversity of excellence reflected in the pool of your achievements, thoughts, and attitudes. So what does it all mean for the education profession, for you, and someday your children? It means a great deal. As you move forward in your education and training, and as you increase your sphere of influence as professional and one day as parents, it is all of you who must continue to inspire and motivate educators. Keep expecting us to strive for vigor and examine the definitions of rigor while maintaining the best qualities of our humanity. You may be asking yourselves, how have we students motivated and inspired you, the educators, toward meaningful change? Are we not the ones that should be motivated and inspired by you? Absolutely. But you see, it's the synergy and energy of reciprocal inspiration that is the foundation of excellence at Mayfield or any high-performing organization. Your class has done that for us. Kept us focused on what we do well, what we can do better, and what we need to invent for relevancy. Here are about a few examples. Shristi Ghosh, Megan Valenti, and Gretchen Lamb are all very special leaders and will do big things in their lifetimes. Their face-to-face discussions with senators and congressmen regarding state public education programming and policy had an impact on subsequent state legislation. I guarantee you that their words made a difference. Kyle Holsinger inspires his art teacher Diana Beebe by continuing to question, use to create a process, and explore possibilities with ideas and concepts. Kyle is constantly learning and creating outside the confines of the traditional paradigm. Do you know that he teaches himself Japanese? His motivation to learn Japanese on his own inspires us to find ways to personalize unique learning needs through the uses of technology. Mrs. Bordakis is inspired by the poise, radiance, and grit in the wonderful Rainbow Graham. Mrs. Bordakis is awestruck at how she navigates the paths of a full-time student, a full-time job, and a full-time leader of the student body joyfully with finesse and precision. She represents the best of us. Mr. Megling remembers Lewis Liu as a 9th grader. Imagine that. Mr. Megling was inspired by him because of Lewis's desire to make connections to his vast array of background and knowledge, bringing a type of energy that not only drives the class to deeper understanding of concepts, but also the practical applications of concepts that bring relevancy to any class. Tommy Montagno and Michael Burke were the first students to open the new Mayfield Innovation Center. And along with students from all grade levels, they engaged in their learning within a very unique learning space using state-of-the-art equipment. Both of these young men have inspired their teacher, Craig Schmidt, because of their ambassadorship of the program and their passion for engineering and design. They are models of what it means to learn and become while still in school. Finally, we are all inspired by loyalty to family and a sense of serving one's own nation. The brother of Paige Scarvelli approached me recently with great pride to tell me that his sister, whom he loves very much, will be serving in the Marines soon after this graduation day. To all of you who will enlist in the armed forces, thank you for the love of our great country. The class of 2016, your sense of leadership, scholarship, entrepreneurship, and service to humanity has made a lasting impact on Mayfield and public education in our state and our nation. Congratulations to you. We are so proud of you.
In keeping with the tradition of a student-centered graduation, our second student speaker is Rainbow Graham. Rainbow is a president of the senior class and will be attending Otterbein University, where she will be majoring in nursing and minoring in French. Ladies and gentlemen, Rainbow Graham.
We did it. We finally made it. Exhausted from the journey and excited for what might come, we all did it. And in the middle of all the fun and chaos, it felt like it would never end. But now as I stand here today at the finish line, it feels like it all went by so fast. Right now, it doesn't seem like that long ago we walked into our first day of kindergarten, getting on the bus for the first time, filled with excitement and finally ready to be a big kid. As we progressed through elementary school, we enjoyed our recess and holiday parties. We learned to read, write, multiply, divide, and so much more. We were building the foundation to our education, and we didn't even know it. It was a carefree time filled with hours spent playing on our webcams online and watching our favorite Disney movies. Then as we approached 4th and 5th grade, we were finally the oldest and the wisest. We were officially the big kids and ready to move on. Not too different from now, we wanted to be a part of something bigger, but we still feared the unknown. What would middle school be like? Terrified of no longer having recess and hoping you'd be on the same team as your friends, we all came together. It was an awkward time for everyone. And I can still remember the first middle school dance, where we did the Cupid Shuffle and wore all of our coolest silly bands. It was a fun time until the second a slow song came on. There were boys on one side, anxiously giggling with their friends, and girls on the other, secretly hoping that one boy would ask them to dance. We grew and changed a lot through middle school. Then we were finally on top again, the older and cooler kids. Our first glimmer of independence was the Chicago trip. We danced the night away on a boat and went on a Ferris wheel at the Navy Pier. Then with feathers in our hair and our favorite Hollister gear, 8th grade came, and it was the final stretch. We were so close to being high schoolers. And after the DC trip, we moved on to a bigger school without teams and more freedom. We started high school with meeting our Wildcat Focus mentors, getting accustomed to the new surroundings. These grades actually counted for something. Our sports and interests really mattered. What we accomplished in high school could actually affect our lives. This time will always be my favorite. Looking back and thinking about our first winter formal and taking the dreaded OJT, freshman and sophomore year, graduation still seemed so far away. We were too worried about getting into our Excel tech programs and talking about what the theme would be on Friday night. All of these memories were great. My favorite thing to see in high school was how our class developed as time went on. When we developed so much spirit and did so many amazing things. We had our first pep rally, we raised so much money for United Way, and the students of this class made a tremendous effort to spread positivity through Mayfield. All of our sports made me feel proud, from girls soccer to football to swimming, and everything in between. This class truly left its mark on Mayfield. And we're finally here. It's exciting to finally start our adult lives and follow our dreams, but Mayfield has left a mark on all of our lives in so many ways, and I am so honored to be a part of it. No matter where we go in life, we will always be a Wildcat, and my experience couldn't have been as amazing without the wonderful staff. Our counselors and teachers went out of their way to help me and all of us with anything we needed, and I am forever grateful for that. Also, I would like to thank my parents and all of my family here today for supporting me. I couldn't have done it without you. And finally, thank you to all of my fellow graduates. So many of you have impacted my life in such a positive way, and I know you will go on to do great things. Thank you.
Our third speaker is Scott DeLugas. Scott is a president of Student Council and will be attending Miami University, where he will be majoring in business. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott DeLugas.
Okay, so I think I can speak for all of us and say that this last year has been a rush. Not as much of an adrenaline rush, but more of a constant rush to the next step. We started off the year looking forward to homecoming, and we soon found ourselves in the heat of football playoffs as we were finishing our college applications. Shortly after, midterms hit, and senioritis kicked in. Before we knew it, we were taking AP tests, finals, and getting ready for prom. But before we rush into the last event of our Mayfield timeline, I want to pause for a moment, take a breath, and look at how what we learned in the walls of MHS will propel us through life. And I'm not talking about algebra or chemistry. I'm talking about life lessons. I'm talking about how Mr. Torta taught us to challenge ourselves, because if the most rewarding jobs in life were easy, then everyone would do them. I'm talking about how Mrs. Canfield taught us to follow our passions, how Mr. Mack taught us to fly right, how Mr. Shepard and Miss Heinold taught us to look outside the box because there's often more than one solution to a problem, and how Mr. O'Shaughnessy taught us the importance of leadership in a community and in a family. Now, I apologize if you didn't have any of those teachers, but I guarantee each and every one of you could handpick out a group of teachers that created a strong influence outside of academics. Overall, my Mayfield experience has taught me the importance of seeing the world through each other's eyes. In other words, we need to be willing to look past our differences and walk in someone else's shoes. Because while high school was a struggle in many different ways, this was the easy part. We are now entering the real world. An unforgiving world that is littered with hardships and battles. I have a personal philosophy, one that says that each and every one of us will face at least one major battle, whether it's serious illness, losing a loved one, or some other major crisis. We all have a mountain to climb. Some of you may have already fought your fight, and some of you may be climbing as we speak. Because the exterior of a person may be deceiving. Oftentimes, the most massive of hills only are apparent to those who face them. You never really know what is going on in someone else's home life. We need to treat others as if it's their darkest day. Because when the chips are down, and you are scaling the steepest of slopes, the people who you supported will return the favor. This is simple, guys. We just need to be kind to one another. This is a lesson that has been drilled into our skulls since kindergarten, but I've chose to address it because it really affects all of us. Because whether you're going to a traditional college, trade school, or entering the workforce, supporting your peers will get you where you need to be. We can live in a world where everyone has each other's backs, where everyone has a safety net to catch them, where everyone has a second chance. Today is a bittersweet day. While I'm sad to see that we are all headed for different directions, I'm happy to see that we are all headed for such fantastic places. We've grown up together. We are who we are because of each other. And we all are prepared to pursue excellence relentlessly. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jonathan Haling. Jonathan is our valedictorian. He has an impressive 4.63 GPA. Next year, he will be attending Case Western Reserve University, where he will be majoring in chemical engineering. For being first in the class, Jonathan has earned his place in the Mayfield High School's Academic Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Haling.
Congratulations, class of 2016. Today we are celebrating our completion of high school, one of the big days we will always remember. But today isn't what really matters. It was the 4 years we spent together at Mayfield. All of us have taken core classes together, but each year when we scheduled our classes, we picked the ones that were most interesting to us, and each year tried new subjects. We develop those interests which will influence our future plans. After today, we will follow different paths to pursue our goals, armed with the tools we gained at Mayfield. There are things we all learned: how Congress and DNA works, how to factor, and how to write an essay. Everyone learns differently, and our teachers have presented us with different styles of testing, homework, and studying. This will allow us to succeed in college and throughout life as we continue to learn. During our time at Mayfield, we have been taught by some fantastic teachers who really care about the students. The first one that comes to mind is Mr. Pubens, who is always enthusiastic about teaching and Mayfield events. In AP Gov, he gave us hundreds of multiple choice questions throughout the year, which, while painful, ultimately helped us succeed and understand the material. Mr. Sullivan is another outstanding teacher. He teaches English, but he understands that not everyone loves English. He met with us individually, one-on-one, to develop writing strategies that work best for each of us. Teachers like these made my high school years great. Our Mayfield experience was not limited to academics. We also had the opportunity to participate in countless clubs and sports. Even though these activities could add to our stress by limiting our time and energy, they were an important part of high school and resulted in some of the best memories at Mayfield. The ability to balance our time between class and activities is a skill that will take us far in life. Now is a chance to start fresh and direct our lives. Now we are equipped with the knowledge and skills we need to succeed. So again, congratulations and good luck, class of 2016.
As most of you know, we have an outstanding music department at Mayfield High School. At the beginning of today's ceremony, you were entertained by our jazz band, as well as by Jessica Sig. Now for your enjoyment, Max Tartaglia, Laura Rossi, Dalton Marsh, Dante Appling, and Samantha Teller will be performing Seasons of Love. Please sit back and enjoy.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year?
Daylights and sunsets and midnights and cups of coffee and inches and miles and laughter and strife. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in life?
How about love? How about love? How about love? Love.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to the land, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
Truths that she learned, or in times that he cried, in bridges he burned, or the way that she died. Time now to sing out, though the story never ends. Let's celebrate, remember the year in the life of friends. Remember the love.
Measure your life in love.
Seasons of love. Seasons of
Measure your life in love.
We will now have the traditional presentation of the colors. The class of 2016 will add their colors to the gavel and pass it to the class of 2017. Will the following students please step forward? Senior Class Secretary, Katie McGarry. Senior Class Treasurer, Casey Galloway. And Spirit Coordinators, Timothy Carlisle and Joseph DiNardo.
secretary of the graduating class of 2016, I hold Mayfield's traditional symbol of authority and leadership, presented to our class by Kirsten Fafazzo, president of the class of 2015. We take pride in knowing the past, present, and future is in our hands. Our class spirit coordinators will now add our class colors to the gavel.
For our class colors, we have chosen green and gold. The color green represents growth and balance. Gold represents enjoyment of life and personal success. With hunger to grow, sustain changes, and achieve success, we go forth to fulfill our dreams.
May our colors of green and gold find their place of distinction on this gavel, which was formed from a timber from one of our oldest school sites.
As president of next year's senior class, will you please step forward? Mr. President, I would like to present you with a traditional symbol of your office.
Madam Treasurer and the other officers of the class of 2016, on behalf of the class of 2017, I accept this gavel. I pledge to carry out my duties so that our colors may be remembered among the honored.
At this time, I'd like to acknowledge some of our students for outstanding efforts and accomplishments. But before I do, I'd like to ask my secretary, Ms. Owen, and senior class advisor, Mr. Samich, to please stand. I would like to take a moment to recognize them for the tremendous amount of time and effort they have put into planning today's ceremony, as well as other events for our seniors throughout the year. Graduates, as I call your name, would you please stand and remain standing until the audience recognizes you? Audience, would you please hold your applause until I signal you? In the area of scholarship and academic excellence, we had 4 students inducted into the Academic Hall of Fame. To be inducted into the Academic Hall of Fame, you have to be the valedictorian, salutatorian, a National Merit Scholar, a National Achievement Scholar, or a National AP Scholar. This year's seniors are valedictorian and National AP Scholar, Jonathan Haling; salutatorian, Nicholas Gowrie; National Merit Scholar, Gretchen Lamb; and National AP Scholar and National Merit Finalist, Louis Liu. To be a National Merit Scholar, students have to score in the top 1% of all students who competed nationally in the National Merit Scholarship competition. Students who score in the top 5% are distinguished as nationally commended scholars. We had 5 students earn this honor. They are Nicholas Gowrie, Jonathan Haling, Isabel Lardner, Kevin Lee, and Ken Liu. Audience, would you please recognize these students? Before I move into other categories, there are a few more academic accomplishments that I would like to recognize. Staying with academics, Mayfield High School's AP Calculus team competes at both the state and the national level in the Continental Mathematics League. The top 5 scorers at your school make up your team. This year's team included Kevin Lee, Carrie McCartney, Nicholas Gowrie, Kent Liu, and Isaac Bykowski. Mayfield's team finished 2nd in the state of Ohio and among one of the top in the schools in the nation. Kevin Lee, he qualified to participate in the Ohio High School Mathematics Invitational Olympiad. As a result, he received the Commendation of Excellence because he finished 10th in the ciphering portion of the competition. This group of seniors: Alan Trester, Kent Liu, Matthew Furness, Nicholas Gowrie, Tyler Phillips, Louis Liu, and Kevin Lee were members of the Science Olympiad team that placed 13th in the state. Now, Alan Tresker, he built a robot from scratch using a 3D printer and even milled his own circuit board. Ladies and gentlemen, it only took 300 hours. Kent Liu and Kevin Lee, they're members of the Ohio Math League that finished second in the region for the annual Ohio Council for the Teachers of Mathematics contest. This was the highest team total in the history of Mayfield High School. And since I have Kent Liu standing right now, one interesting fact that you may not know. Kent is a state chess champion. He won it in 6th grade, in 7th grade, in 8th grade, in 10th grade, and in 11th grade. That is correct. He is a 5-time state champion. You may ask, what about 9th grade? He finished second. Slacker. At Mayfield, we rank students 2 ways. We rank them on a weighted scale and on an unweighted scale. We do this because most of the top schools in the country do not care about a student's weighted rank. They want to know about a student's unweighted rank. And this data is always very interesting. On an unweighted scale, we would have a new valedictorian and a new salutatorian. The valedictorian would be Gretchen Lamb, and our new salutatorian would be Lauren Egensberger. Here are a few students that made some significant jumps in rank. Megan Valenti. Megan jumps from 38th to 6th. Melissa Lagore. Melissa jumps from 30th to 10th. Jessica Sig. Jessica moves from 37th to 14th. Anna Byrne. Anna jumps from 40th to 20th. One student who did not get recognized at the top 40 ceremony, but would have on an unweighted scale, is Erica Gambates. Erica jumps from 43rd to 23rd. Audience, would you please recognize these students? In the area of Excel Tech Awards, Zach Bundes and Nicole Karosik. I can see you guys out there, please stand. Thank you. They are both members in the Culinary Arts program. They were part of a team that earned a gold medal at the Skills USA District Competition and earned a silver medal at the state competition. Thomas Citraro. Tom's in the Information Technology program. He earned a bronze medal at the Skills USA State Contest in the Career Pathway Showcase. Sean Webb. Sean is a member of the Environmental Education program that was part of a team that earned 5th place in the state FFA Landscaping Competition. Ivory Coleman. She is one of the Studio Art and Design students who earned a Governor Show regional recognition for her artwork. The following students received the Excel Tech Outstanding Senior Award for their respective programs. Alan Idov in Career-Based Intervention. Ariel Kish for Early Childhood Education. Samantha Kleiner for Cosmetology. Hannah McJesse for Medical Technologies. Now, Edwin Sapoznikov. Edwin, please make sure you're standing. Edwin is a member of the CAD program at Mayfield High School. He helped to create a prosthetic hand that was on display at the Hannover Messe trade show in Germany. Both German Chancellor Merkel and President Barack Obama were observed discussing and analyzing the hand. Quite impressive. Kyle Ardai, Michael Burke, Jared Pulowski, Dominic Demora, Nicole Karosik, Kayla Gentis, Julia Pidio, Dennis Kalantarov, Kyle Lakota, Gage Biken, Luciano Biken, Shahed Eid, Alexa Pasquale, Danielle Zabrowski, Alexis Anderson, Anna Byrne, Piel Descupta, Erica Gambates, Ricolette Patterson, Jenna Steinberger, Ari Glustein, Rorden McNamara, and Max Tartaglia. Ladies and gentlemen, this group of 23 students is worth $2.5 million. That's how much scholarship money this group has earned within their respective programs. Audience, would you please recognize? In the area of attendance. So when I speak to employers in the community, they often lament about the poor attendance of their young employees. However, these members of the class of 2016 are going to make their employers very happy. Using a cutoff date of April 25th when senior search began, this senior had 2 years of perfect attendance, Michael Radeski. The next 2 seniors had 3 years of perfect attendance, Carmen Imerino and Christopher Pelusic. What is even more about these young men is that they have each only missed 1 day in their high school career. The next students do not have perfect attendance, but these 2 students have done something that no one else in their class has done. Alan Yarovitsky, and William Sinclair. These students have gone all 4 years of high school without being tardy to school or to class. Lastly, I could not talk about perfect attendance without speaking about Kevin Lee. Kevin had perfect attendance this year. Perfect, never missed a day of high school. Even more impressively, Kevin has only missed 1 day of school since the 5th grade. Audience, would you recognize these students? Mayfield had another successful year on the athletic fields. The girls' soccer team won districts for the 2nd time in school history and were regional finalists. The football team was a regional finalist. The baseball team was just crowned district champions this past Thursday and will be moving on to regionals this week. Girls tennis, girls soccer, boys swimming, girls swimming, boys tennis, and baseball were all Western Reserve Conference champions. Now to the individual highlights. Felice Ferrante. Felice is a swimmer and was a state qualifier in the 400 free relay. Connor Milroy. Connor is also a swimmer and was a state qualifier in both 2015 and 2016 in the 200 free and the 500 free. Carl Stacy. As a wrestler, Carl was a sectional champion in his weight class in both 2015 and 2016. He also made my 10-year-old daughter cry as she witnessed him slam a wrestler from Chagrin Falls to the mat. You laugh, but she asks me about Carl every day. Thanks, Carl. Johnny Craker. As a wrestler, he was not only the 2016 sectional champion in his weight class, but also a state qualifier. Joseph Woods. Joe was a wrestler, and he was also a 2016 sectional champion. Gianna DePippo. Gianna was a state track and field qualifier in shot put in 2015. She also placed 6th this past winter in the state indoor track meet. I feel quite confident that she will be back at the state meet this spring. Mario Monastero. He was recognized as a 2015 Western Reserve Conference Offensive Player of the Year in football. Luciano Biken. This past football season, Luciano was honored with 2nd team All-Ohio. Zachary Rodman. Zach was recognized as 1st team All-Ohio in football. Alexander Nara. Alex was not only the 2016 Western Reserve Conference Basketball Player of the Year, but was also honorable mention All-Ohio. Jonathan Haling. Jonathan just became the 2016 district champion in the 400 meters this past Friday. And Marissa Handel. What can't I say about Marissa? She was a 2015 state track qualifier in the 400 meter and placed 8th. She was also the 2015 Western Reserve Conference Soccer Player of the Year, the 2015 All-Ohio First Team in soccer, and the 2015 First Team All-Midwest Region in soccer. Audience, would you please recognize these students? The arts. During their time at Mayfield High School, this senior class has won more scholastic writing and art awards than any other in school history. As a result, I'm only going to mention our Gold and Silver Key Award recipients. Alan Trester earned the Silver Key for his photograph in the green. Brian Pinkley received the Silver Key for his fashion entry, Mercenary Guard. Anna Sincermis. Anna received 2 Silver Key Awards for her photograph, Pale Skin Hypnotic, as well as Gravitational Pull. She also received a Silver Key for her art portfolio, You Say Eros, I Say Erosion. Anna also won a Gold Key for her poem, Subscriptions to Past Secrets, and a Silver Key for her flash fiction, Trying to Drown in the Dead Sea. Isabel Lardner. She won a Gold Key for her flash fiction piece, When You Find Yourself Alone, and a Silver Key for her poem, Gray. Joseph DiNardo. Joe won a Silver Key for his short story, A Caveman Story. Hannah Gooden. She won a Silver Key for her flash fiction piece, Water Damage. Melissa Legore won a Silver Key for her poem, Exhale. Melissa was also published in a teen literary magazine called Teenling for her short story, Wet Leaves. She is the first Mayfield student to ever be recognized. Rebecca Schneider. Rebecca won a Silver Key for her short story, The Way We Talk About It, in the area of performing arts. Jessica Sig. This past winter, Jessica earned a superior rating at the solo and ensemble contest. In addition to this, Jessica has earned the honor of playing in the very selective Cleveland Youth Wind Symphony for the past 2 years. She has also been awarded with the John Philip Sousa Award. Brandon Serlin. Brandon was a recipient of the Patrick Gilmore Award. Scott DeLugas. He was a recipient of the Louis Armstrong Award. Carmen Imerino. This year he was recognized for his leadership by receiving the Director's Leadership Award. At graduation, I'd like to recognize those students who have enlisted in the military. It is our chance to thank them for their patriotism and for their service to our country. Joseph DiNardo. Joe will be joining the Navy. And for those of you who don't know, Joe was named after his grandfather, and I found this very interesting. Joe was being shipped out for the Navy on his grandfather's birthday. Sophia LaRidge. Sophia will be enlisting in the Marines. Terry Maynard. Terry will be enlisting in the Air National Guard. Other notable accomplishments. Kevin Guzik. Today is a very special day for Kevin. Not only is he graduating, but today is his 18th birthday. Ikram Ija. You may not know this remarkable young lady as Ikram, but maybe as Mayfield Happy. Ikram took it upon herself to create an anonymous Twitter page dedicated to complimenting members of our Mayfield family and spreading positivity throughout our community. After just 4 days, she had more than 350 followers and fielded approximately 900 tweets. Since its inception, she herself has created 1,657 tweets and has 734 followers. But more than this, she has brought joy to hundreds of students and to staff. Jacqueline Huss, Kevin Guzik, Samantha Teller, and Megan Valenti. These 4 students were instrumental in the success of this year's United Way campaign. Under their leadership, they raised $7,366 in only 3 days. Ryan Schmidt, Peter Waring, and Jared Bucheri. These 3 young men have accomplished something that is quite rare these days. They have earned the distinction of being an Eagle Scout. In the past 17 years, only 9 students have been recognized for this honor, and this year we have 3 in one class. Alex Baylog, Megan Valenti, Timothy Carlisle, Jake Landry, Jake Steffens, Samuel Osberg, Samantha LaPiccolo, Benjamin Gujic, and Kevin Guzik. For the past 2 years, these students have been instrumental in entertaining us all with over 65 Wildcat Weekly shows, using almost 100 gigabytes of video, averaging over 1,000 views per week, and are now recognized by people all over this community. Additionally, they are really good at getting people to make fools out of themselves. I would now like to take this opportunity to address the class of 2016 one last time. This year, I struggled with writing my speech because I want to share a message with you that I live by each day, and I don't want to sound cliche or like any other principal or any other adult that's giving you advice. But these are words that I live by with an unwavering conviction, and those that I would deliver to my own children. Right now, I want all of you to go back to when you were 7 or 8 years old. And I want to ask you the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Back then, it was an easy question to answer. I can still remember my father taking me to Old Cleveland Municipal Stadium to watch the Indians. After one of those games, I got my picture taken with Rick Waits. Now some of you are like, who is Rick Waits? He was an Indians pitcher, and he was awful. But at that time, I didn't know. I just remember the feeling that I had when I walked into the stadium, smelled the hot dogs, the peanuts, and even the infield dirt, and having my picture taken with who I thought at that time was someone really good. Because of that, I wanted to be a baseball player. Brian Holmes, he wanted to be in a rock band because he was heavily influenced by the School of Rock. Michael Cook wanted to be a cartoon artist. Julia Turk, a doctor. Erica Gambatis, a nurse. Alexis Anderson, a pop star. And Nico Ferreri, an NBA player. So when I asked you that question, I looked out, and for those that I could see, I wanted to see your reaction. And you had the same reaction that those 6 students that I just named had a few weeks back when I asked them. Many of you smiled. Some of you laughed a little bit and giggled. And the reason being is because that's what made you happy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and read you a definition of happiness. I can't do that. I can't define that happiness. No one can except for you. So although today might be the last day of high school, tomorrow is your first day in your relentless pursuit of that happiness. And man, what an opportunity you have. For the past 13 years, all you knew was school. Some of you took advantage of it. Well, let's be honest, some of you didn't. But I'm here to tell you, no matter which path you went, that's okay. What is most important right now is the opportunity that is staring you right in the face. You're definitely going to go ahead and face adversity along finding this path to happiness. And you know what? You're also going to have people that are going to tell you, you know what? Why don't you try something else? Don't let that adversity define you, and don't let anyone impede with your dreams. Because I'm telling you right now, now is your time. This is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. As I look at you, I see determined, passionate, hardworking, creative, and kind young men and women. And if I could give you one gift, it would be that gift of happiness. Class of 2016, I want to say thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure serving you as your high school principal. You're a remarkable group of young men and women, and I cannot be more proud of you than I am today. Now, I shared this with the class of 2015, and I feel that it's important to share it with you right now. As I interviewed for this position, I was asked a question by Dr. Kelly. What motivates you? What is your drive? I also interpret that as, what is my happiness? Outside of my own beautiful children and my amazing wife, the answer is very simple. In approximately 5 minutes, you're going to know my answer, is I'm going to have the opportunity to shake hands with each one of you as you walk across the stage. Class of 2016, your success and well-being is what makes me happy. In closing, I want you to remember this. Soon many of you will be going on to college, whether it be Ohio State, the University of Michigan, Cornell, or Lakeland. And some of you are going to be going straight to the workforce. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you will always be a Mayfield Wildcat. At this time, I'd like to call forward the President of the Mayfield Board of Education, Mrs. Sue Brooks. The faculty and staff of Mayfield High School, I am proud to certify that 336 students who are part of this class have met the graduation requirements as established by the State of Ohio and the Mayfield Board of Education. I ask that you accept them as qualified to graduate.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of the rest of the Board of Education, I am happy and very excited to accept the graduating class of 2016. For those of you who have siblings who have graduated before you, you may remember that each year I select a hat that I feel represents the graduating class. Since it's your class that opened the doors of the Innovation Center, I thought it fitting to use the fedora of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. For his quote appears on the doors of that very center. The quote is, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." Interestingly, this quote comes from a speech that he gave to the University of Pittsburgh back in 1940. As I recently reread this speech, I felt it particularly relevant today, and although he was talking to university students, his words were equally as meaningful and inspirational to today's Mayfield graduates. And so, I quote, "It is the function of education, the function of all great institutions of learning in the United States, to provide continuity for our national life, to transmit to youth the best of our culture that has been tested by the fire of history. It is equally the obligation of education to train the minds and the talents of our youth, to improve through creative citizenship our American institutions in accord with the requirements of the future. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. It is in great universities like this that ideas can assure our nation safely and make tomorrow's history that are being forged and shaped. Civilization owes most to the men and women, known and unknown, whose free, inquiring minds and relentless intellects should not be subdued by the power of tyranny. This is no time for any man to withdraw into some ivory tower, proclaiming his right to hold himself aloof from the problems and the agonies of his society. The time calls for bold belief that the world can be changed by man's endeavors, and that this endeavor can lead to something new and better. No man can sever the bonds that unite him to his society by simply averting his eyes. He must ever be receptive and sensitive to the new and have sufficient courage and skill to face novel facts and to deal with them. If democracy is to survive, it is the task of men of thought as well as men of action to put aside pride and prejudice, and with courage and single-minded devotion, and above all, with humility, to find the truth and teach the truth that shall keep men free. We may find in a sense of purpose the personal peace, not of repose, but of effort, the keen satisfaction of doing, and the deep feeling of achievement for something far beyond ourselves, the knowledge that we build more glorious than we know." End quote. And so, class 2016, I encourage you to arise, go forth, and build that glorious future. Many thanks to you in advance, because that future will affect us all, and we know you will build it well. We know we can count on the Mayfield Nation. Thank you, and congratulations.
Now, there are a few business items that need to be addressed before we distribute the diplomas. First, it is an honor to recognize the Mayfield staff gathered here this afternoon. Mayfield is blessed with a staff of dedicated, caring individuals who strive to see that your children receive the best possible guidance and education every day. I'd like to ask the Mayfield staff to please stand and be recognized. Please join me in saluting this outstanding group of individuals. But I'm asking you to refrain from clapping, yelling, or cheering when a student's name is read. I know you're happy, but I want each student's name to be heard. It would be unfortunate if a parent came to today's ceremony and you cannot hear the name of their child. We are not looking to turn this into a cheering contest. Our graduates have earned this right, and they have waited 13 long years for this day. Therefore, I want it to be as special and dignified for each one of them. Now, we have a long tradition of having honorable and dignified ceremonies. It's something that our community is very proud of, and it's something that the crew at the Palace Theater have told me separates us from other communities who commence here. So please cooperate with us.
Nick Crouch. Nicole Crowell. Erica Diamore. Pial Dasgupta. Erica Lee Gambatis. Grace Garrett. Kayla Marie Gentis. Maxwell Evan Gephardt. Shrishti Ghosh. Marissa Matilda Handel. William Raynard Hardrick Jr. Dane Lewis Harrison. Dominic Anthony Herbst. Brittany Holloway. L. Nunn. Bethany A. O'Neill. Anna Hogan. Anthony Orange. Alexandra Boros. Julia Grace Turk. Benjamin Edwards Turnage. Asif Uden. Alexis Aitza. Kotaro Umeda. tradition, a symbolic tradition at all graduations that once students have received their diplomas, the class will collectively turn their tassels from the right to the left. So graduates, would you please stand? Please turn your tassels from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you the graduating class of 2016. Audience, please remain seated until all the graduates have left the theater. Thank you.
second, Gretchen was third grade.
We should retell for passing at the time. Oh, I just
All right, I have.
Okay. Wait, let me get it from this angle because that's all.
I know, that's what we
Wait, wait, Jude! Everybody has to see. You have to look at her. She's like, oh my God, those are my shoes. You can wear those? I took 5. Okay.
Diplomas, beautiful.
Marissa, yours is hanging down.
My
arms like this, and then I'm holding it like this, and my feet are like this.
Hold it up, Marissa.
No.
Who's taking it?
Wait, is that what I'm doing? I gotta be on my tiptoe. Got it? Uh-oh, take it.
Beautiful.
Wait, Pops, did you ever...
There's that laugh.
Chelsea!
Put my granddaughter down.
You don't want to keep doing this.
Ready? Where are we going?
All right, ready? Someone has to count them down.
Who's counting down?
3, 1, 2, 3. Wait, Travis, come on, shut up.
You're all gonna be in sync.
Go, 3, 2, 1,
Wait, you call it. Ready? Go.
3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Oh my God, Luke.
Why do I always get yours?
All
right. I'll call it. What are the odds? What do that? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Laugh. That's a girl.
Did you get the picture?
We have blinded.
Oh, wait, but Kate had a good thing. Sorry. Oh, man, right here. Oh, right. You were...
Oh, that area, I never been there.